Oh yes, legends, how is everybody doing? Let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. Let's analyze this situation for Bitcoin because yes, we are holding by a thread here. We either bounce from here, okay, to come back up and try and claim that $65,000 range, which is not a bad long scenario where we're currently at here, just with the stop loss beneath the lows that have been created. Because if we do lose this pivot low that was created today, I do believe that we are going to have a significant drop to the downside. As you can see with the thumbnail, we got that Bart Simpson pattern here, as you can see, right? It's actually an official pattern for trading. So the main reason why here that we need a hold, guys, and let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Yes, we are live. Make sure to absolutely destroy that like button, guys, on your way in. We'll be analyzing very carefully. I got a surprise for you today. We got a full analysis on Ethereum. We are going to take a look at Ethereum as well today, guys, okay? Ethereum, full analysis, level scenarios on the higher time frame. So make sure to stay tuned in the next coming minutes. Now, Bitcoin, Bart Simpson pattern. What is disturbing that on most of the exchanges, those highs from Friday have been claimed. Of course, on Bybit, we have not claimed those highs, which is very disturbing. But on most of the exchanges, we have. So we have created officially a double top on Binance, on Coinbase. We've got the wick here above Friday's highs, but on Bybit, we haven't. And why is this level so important to not complete the Bart Simpson pattern? I mean, you can manage risk here with a long position, just stop loss beneath this low. And the main reason why is because you have the last little zone of order block right over here, okay, that if we do lose, right, if we do lose this level, then obviously we are likely going to get a significant drop. We have left nothing here in between $63,500 and $61,500, right? Even to low $61,000 range. There is nothing here that can back up any kind of support for Bitcoin. And this is a zone where you're likely going to get a significant drop in a matter of hours, guys. So yeah, I'm not saying that this drop is going to happen. This is like the last line in the sand that needs to hold. So potentially Bitcoin can bounce from the back test of these lows of the range, as it is doing. It is getting a reaction and it could get the bounce in the next coming hours. So, you know, it is a level, it is a trading zone without a doubt, because there's, you know, two scenarios here, obviously. You either maintain in the next coming minutes and hours and you bounce, or you break down. So if you lose this low, it's just going to get a significant move down. Could it SFP from the lows again? I don't think so. We've already created the swing failure pattern. We are back testing the lows as support on this retracement. It is now or never. It is now or never in the next coming minutes. This is why, you know, a good trade is there. There is a good trade here at this zone because your stop loss is beneath the low. And you would be quite ambitious saying, okay, we can come back up and test the highs. Now, what I do like about this possible trading setup is on Bybit, we haven't tested the highs, right? We haven't tested those highs on Friday. What I don't like about this setup is that we've already hit the highs on most of the exchanges. If these highs from Friday were not hit during the weekend, this trading setup would look absolutely amazing, right? It's a no-brainer. It has to be a must if you did not claim the highs from Friday. Why? Because you got that fresh liquidity to grab above those levels. So this is why it's a little bit difficult. You got the highs of the range being tested on most of the exchanges, and now we're testing the lows of the range from the weekend, right? You lose this level, we very much understand that we could drop down. There are multiple examples here from the fast price action, right? Very similar to this nice little range that we formed just a few days ago, right? When we do see the price action fast to the upside, this is the zone that Bitcoin needs to hold. You can see how Bitcoin was attempting to hold okay, the lows of this range, big massive pump, higher low, boop, boop, boop. We're trying to hold right over here. If you don't hold that base, well, you know what happens, right? Same right over here, right? Massive pump, massive dump. There's multiple examples on this kind of price action. Same right over here, right? We can zoom in right over here. If the lows does not hold of a range after creating a big, massive move to the upside, you are going to move as fast or even faster to the downside. So it's pretty simple regarding your stop loss. Stop loss needs to be beneath the lows from that wick created, right? You're getting the retracement, you're getting the retest of the lows right over here. If you do not hold and get an epic bounce in the next coming hours to come and claim $65,000, you are going to dump down $1,000 or $2,000 in a matter of a few hours, right? Pretty simple to understand. The candlesticks, the market structure, okay, the Bart-Simpson pattern. So this is currently what is happening right now, right? We either hold and get an epic bounce to test 65K again and maybe break it or not. I do not know. There is a good zone here for a rejection, or you get that breakdown. If we do get that breakdown, I am not interested in jumping in any long positions here because the fall can be epic. And I'm not interested in jumping into the short, right? I would rather be in a short position from higher levels. What higher levels? Such as the session volume profile, previous day value area high. If you wanted to attempt a short position, you need to look at the base of the previous day value area low, as you can see right over here. Okay, that is an interesting zone to get into a short. These levels right over here, as we are forming also incredible bearish CVD divergence on Bybit. There's a lot of people on Bybit longing during the last few hours. We got an insane spike on the CVD, right? Millions of dollars entering into long positions on Bybit. However, we are creating huge higher highs right there on the CVD, as you can see, and we're forming lower highs on the price action. So a lot of longs entering, expecting that this level is going to bounce. Will those people on Bybit be safe, as all of their liquidations are round about this zone? And we can actually see that on the heat map. There is significant amount of liquidations, all right, below $63,000. There is a lot. There's hundreds of millions, right? So not too much above us, below, in between 63,000, 64,000 and 65,000, there is not much liquidity. So will the Bybit players manage to maintain this zone? Well, this is the last level. They need to defend this level right away to get that pump in the next coming hours. So like I said, it is an acceptable long position because your invalidation is pretty clear. You lose this level, you're going to drop big time. As long as you hold it, well then, yeah, the bulls can see some steam coming in the next coming minutes. So let's go right away. Only 66 likes. Yes, sir. Just made a Bluffin account. Absolutely epic. Yeah, Bluffin for me is the best no KYC platform. You do have an insane bonus down below. They have proof of reserves, so they're extremely legit. You got Bluffin, guys, down below. You got $80,000 deposit bonus. The more you trade and deposit, the more airdrops you're going to get to exchange, up to $80,000. So if you continue trading, you're just going to get airdrops of $1,000, $2,000. That's how it works, all right, into your trading account. So you can use to pay fees and losses, which is absolutely epic, right? So you got Bluffin down below, guys, if you want to sign up. Let's go right away through the comment section and will the Bart-Simpson pattern play out? I'm going to ask the people. I'm going to ask the community because I don't like this. I don't like it one single bit. All right. Got to be honest. You can manage risk here without a doubt. It's, no issue in managing risk here. If you lose this low where we created that swing failure pattern, then it's kind of game over in the short term, right? It doesn't mean game over that we're going to go down to 50K. It means that you're going to get that drop. Then we're probably going to hold and then bounce back up. But for the more locally, this is the zone, last line in the sand. that needs to hold, right? And hopefully you do understand, and that could bring that bounce from this level without a doubt in the next coming hours. So let's go right away and ask the community, ask here in a poll, will the Bart-Simpson pattern play out, right? I'm really interested what the people do think about the Bart-Simpson pattern. Will the Bart pattern play out? Let me know, guys, right away. Will the Bart pattern play out for Bitcoin? Meaning a dump, right? Let me know right away in the poll, guys. Very interested to see what do you think. You know, as a trader and a technical analyst, I do see you know, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. I do not know if this pattern is good. It's not an official pattern, but I do not know if these lows are going to hold. I do not know. You got significant bearish CVD divergence, which is really not helping. Of course, you got a lot of longs entering here at the lows. That is no bueno. That is not good. Usually, right? So will they manage to push through and successfully break above the previous day value area low? And that will be a good sign, right? That will be a good sign. If you do manage to break above the previous day value area low and the VWAP successfully, well, obviously I will be looking at the price to jump all the way up at least to the previous day value area high. You know, if you do get back acceptance, right, claim these lower highs above previous day value area low, that's a good sign of strength. Of course, if you did get into a long position, I would maintain some of that long at least till we get to the previous day value area high, which would be the target zone. Could the price manage to push through here above $65,000? Well, we're just going to have to see how, you know, the pressure and the volume, right, on this pump. So let's go through comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. We can do Ethereum analysis. We can do a little bit of higher time frame analysis on Bitcoin, getting ready for the different scenarios. On yesterday's video update, we talked about the double top. We talked about the possibility of claiming Friday's highs and get that swing failure pattern. We did drop over $1,000, okay, over $1,500 from Friday's highs since we created that YouTube update, okay. Depending on where you're doing your analysis, the highs were taken, right? Binance, Coinbase, many other exchanges, highs were taken for that swing failure pattern, stop above the high, and look, obviously, as you're getting the reaction at the lows of the range, I mean, this is your take profit zone. If you're shorting the highs of a range, your take profit is the lows of the range. And until you break this range, you're basically shorting the highs and longing the lows, right? Keeping it simple. You create that wick, claiming the lows, then obviously that triggers the long position, stop loss at the low. Where you're looking to take profit, where you're looking at the highs of the range or the value area high. I'm a little bit skeptical on the possibility of the price action actually rallying back up to the highs, as we have claimed on most of the exchanges those highs, which means that the liquidity has kind of been grabbed yesterday, right? Sunday, you kind of claimed that liquidity already above Friday's highs. So it doesn't give a proper, you know, it doesn't give a proper reason to say, right, we need a bounce here because Friday's highs haven't been claimed and we should be claiming that liquidity, because that kind of already happened on Sunday, right? And it's not helping the confidence to actually get this bounce from this range, which gives high probability as well for the bears that, you know, this Bart-Simpson pattern could actually play out and get that drop. All right, sweeping up all of that major pump from Friday. All right, so yeah, let's take a look at the poll here, because I'm interested in what the people think, right? Probably people that are more experienced, people that are less experienced. Is the Bart-Simpson going to play out? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. 67% of people say yes, it's going to play out. So we've got people more bearish, actually. There's more people bearish. There is more people bearish, believing that Bart-Simpson pattern can play out. And it can play out as well, even though if the price comes back up to $65,000. We still have a plan here. I still have a plan, which is basically coming all the way up to $65,500, 66K at a max target zone. And this has been explained the last few days. So could it be a triple top scenario, right? You would still be forming that kind of spike here, and this would still be a Bart-Simpson pattern, but you would just be claiming the highs one more time. So I'm very much interested, guys, in that wick to the upside above $65,000. And only if we do hit these highs from the 2nd of August, only if we hit these highs from the 2nd of August and reject from them, I will consider the short trade, okay? Because if you do maintain above those lower highs from the 2nd of August, yeah, obviously that will be bullish, right? If you get back above the daily, right, which is also, we got a daily level right there that has been untapped. Anybody that's not aware about a daily, it's basically the daily close and open that we did have here in August, right? The first 2 days of August, that hasn't been tapped yet, basically. So yeah, without a doubt, if we maintain above that level, you know, I wouldn't be interested in the short position. I would say, okay, we could be going to $67,000. However, if we do hit that level and reject instantly beneath those highs, then that is going to be looking pretty interesting. What I do not like here is the daily level that could actually act as support. You know, if we do get those highs being claimed, they could act, you know, that daily level could act a little bit as support and could get a little bit of a rangy formation. It could be a little bit complex to look for the short position here. It might get a bit wicky because you are getting support from that daily. But yeah, for the moment, it looks like we are struggling here very much. And the main thing that makes this a little bit bearish, is the amount of longs that are entering on Bybit. It's kind of they asking to get liquidated. This is really not helping the bulls to hold these lows as support, because you have huge amount of longs entering here on Bybit, and this is not good. We're actually forming some small little bullish CVD divergence. There are some shorts entering right now here, so there's some small little bullish CVDs forming here. Definitely has a chance, but too many longs without a doubt entering here at the lows, right? Too many longs entering, and that is obviously bringing the, you know, a bit of danger here for this drop, because this is only fuel for the market to correct down. If that low is lost, the correction can be pretty epic, right? It's the kind of classic area where the price is just going to take a big massive dump. So don't be surprised if you see the market actually losing that low. It's just going to take a big hit, guys, okay? Anybody that is, you know, unaware about, you know, the technicals and say, hey, why did we get this drop? Well, if you lose that low, you've left no volume here. It's just been a straight pump here to the upside. And of course, you would be looking for that significant drop down to the $61,000 area, right? Easy zone where we could be hitting if we lose that low. Look at the DXY, mate. Yeah, the DXY is testing the lows. DXY, let's take a look at DXY right away. DXY getting a little bit of a reaction here from those lows created on December, okay? So yeah, a possible small bounce on the DXY is there, because you're basically kind of creating a small little swing failure pattern. So the DXY has its reasons to get a bounce here. It's tested the low, so it could get a bounce in the next coming days, and obviously that will not be good for Bitcoin. You know, and depending if we do reclaim that value area low of this entire range of the last 2 years, if DXY gets a significant rally here, but then obviously, you know, you would be expecting that pullback for Bitcoin. You know, the DXY has its reasons to get a bounce here. It's tested the lows from December of 2023. It got a little smaller reaction. You know, there is a reason why the price of the DXY could get that bounce from this level, okay? So do not be surprised. I know there's a lot of people very bullish at the moment. The bullish sentiment with this pump has been absolutely crazy during the last few days. And yeah, we stay grounded. We stay very much with the analysis, understanding that, you know, there is some risk right here, and the drop could happen on Bitcoin based on the claim of Friday's highs, which was mentioned on yesterday's update, right? I got a lot of bad comments as well. No, we're not going down. We are going to pump, you know. A lot of people in denial. It's just understanding the technical analysis, right? It's understanding the technicals. It's understanding, you know, the range, and Friday's highs has been tested on most of the exchanges. So that's highs have been tested, liquidity has been grabbed, which gives you a reason for that drop. Okay, so you know, what can I say? Good morning, Sohei. How are you doing? Could you take a look at Tether dominance, please? Tether dominance. Long time since I haven't checked Tether dominance. Tether. Is it USDT.D? Tether dominance. Tether dominance, I think, is it going down? Yeah, about Tether dominance. I mean, this is already a good sign in my opinion. This is already a good breakdown from 2022 and 2023, right? Yeah, without a doubt, I would expect the Tether dominance to actually continue to the downside in the next coming weeks. Of course, this is just bouncing back up here from the drop that we had in between November, December, right? January, April. It's just getting that bounce, but I would expect a lower high here on the dominance, and then roll back down, bringing that, you know, Bitcoin bull run continuation and altcoin season, getting the dominance to correct very, very nicely in the next coming months. Of course, this could pump, right? As we do get a dump on Bitcoin, you know, and altcoins, this could actually continue to grind to the upside. But I would expect a lower high on the Bitcoin, on the Tether dominance in the next coming weeks. I think, you know, yeah, bearish on the Tether dominance without a doubt. But it is bullish, lower time frame, right? For the last couple of months, it is grinding up, but I would expect it to top out here into the beginning of 2025 to then get that, you know, Bitcoin altcoin season, right? Bull run continuation. But for the moment, it is locally bullish here for the last few months. So I would expect slightly higher levels on the dominance till we actually hit, you know, we've already hit the lows of this range and already got that resistance. But I think it could have multiple attempts and then obviously kind of form a little bit of a range formation and roll down. So, you know, there's no real proper technical analysis that you could apply on the Tether dominance. So let's go. New Solana meme coin, 𝗕𝗶𝘆𝗽. Trump loves Elon. My goodness. I'm not sure. Could pop 15,000%. See new article. Yeah, well, you know, this is a gamble, right? It's a gamble. You know, how many Trump meme coins do we have already? There is at least a dozen or half a dozen of Trump meme coins, right? It's starting to break down, boys. We are starting to see the Bart Simpson pattern probably coming into fruition in the next coming hours, getting that drop of a few $1,000s. Now, yeah, the best short position that you could have taken speculating on the drop was the previous day value area low, okay? Based on the bearish CVD divergence, you know, they could also bring you a pretty significant drop down to, well, yeah, I mean, if you do break down, obviously, but the short to be taken here obviously could bring you a significant move down. But the only short position that I did see available here on Bitcoin, if you don't want to try and FOMO into a short right there, because I mean, this could still hold. This could still hold as long as we're above this low. It could still hold. So I you know, like I said, I wouldn't short here. This would be a level that I would never enter a short position at this range. Or a long, to be honest. It's just really not a level to do anything. But if you would have speculated on that possible short trade, which it would have been here, right, with your stop loss above this high. And the main which was mentioned in the Legends trading community as well as a possibility for a short trade at this area. You know, if you want to take the risk, this is the level where you want to enter that short position. Why? Because you are basically hitting the previous day value area high. You're hitting the previous day value area high. We need to acknowledge that the highs from Friday have been tested on most of the exchanges, not giving a proper reason to actually bounce and claim the liquidity above those Friday highs, because on most of the exchanges it has been hit. So if you wanted to take the short trade shot, basically, the level to do so was the previous day value area low. The previous day value area low, which was acting as resistance, right? You were getting that choppy price action, and you were getting insane bearish CVD divergence, but literally insane bearish CVD divergence. You get a huge amount of people longing like crazy on Bybit, which is getting them in danger right now. They're underwater, and yeah, they you know, they're probably going to get liquidated, all of those people that have been long in here the last few hours on that swing failure pattern. So this is why this bounce was not extremely legit when you have huge amount of retail jumping into long positions, right? It's like they kind of know they know that the lows have been swept, right? You've hit that order block right over here from Friday, right? You know, there's a lot of people that do know their technical analysis and know where the liquidity is, but there was just too many longs entering right now on that bounce, right, from the order block right over here, where you are creating that swing failure pattern. So if you do get that huge amount of longs entering the market, yeah, this is not good, right? You know, this is actually bearish. You don't want to see those CVD going absolutely nuts like we have done the last few hours. So if you wanted to get into a short attempt here, to look for that Bart-Simpson pattern breakdown, you wanted to speculate the short at the previous day value area low, entry point, stop loss beneath the lower high here, and which is also the previous day point of control. And that's basically it. That would have to be the invalidation level, because the invalidation is the top here from the bearish CVD divergence. I mean, you are forming bearish CVD divergence from higher levels as well. But you know, if you want a barrier as resistance to speculate on that short, your barrier is the previous day value area low. That would have been your best shot to speculate on that short here just about 2 hours, yeah, a couple of hours ago. But yeah, if this trade does play out, obviously the risk reward is very large. So that was the best level. And you know, if you did take the long here, well, obviously you're just about to get stopped out on it. You know, there was a chance to bounce from here. It was the last level. If you break down from this low, guys, the movement down is going to be pretty interesting. I wouldn't speculate that it will double bottom from here. It will, like, you know, it just doesn't make any sense that you would swing failure pattern here again, just because, yeah, it's already claimed that liquidity here. So what it's likely going to do, it's just going to, you know, have that major waterfall. So yeah, good afternoon, Legends. Mariella, how are you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Good evening, Miss Mariella. Just entered a long position. All right, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can manage risk, like I said, if this low does maintain, as long as you're above this low, you know, without a doubt, you know, you can get you can please manage risk. You know, we're talking about the danger about this moving down to the downside very aggressively, and I just got somebody saying I've just entered a long position. If we lose this low, we're going to get a big drop, okay? We might see it live. So if you manage risk, I'm going to say, yeah, you could long here if your stop loss is beneath the lows. You know, just manage risk accordingly, because if we do lose this level, we are gonna get a pretty significant drop, very, very likely. Yeah, bullish CVD divergence, they have been invalidated. Yeah, there's small little ones, they've been invalidated. We're just too close to the lows right there. So yeah, there's no bullish CVD divergence here just yet. We're forming higher lows from this pivot, higher lows here, still higher lows on the rest of exchanges. So yeah, no bullish CVDs happening locally. The drop is relatively quite aggressive. It's over, says Axel. Axel says it's over. Andy, shorts will win. The main reason why, you know, this was not such a great long position. I mean, it was an acceptable long trade here. It was acceptable, but the main reason why it wasn't too nice, it was because of the highs of Friday being claimed. I mean, this happened at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't get into that short trade myself because I was sleeping. But you know, I always take into consideration analyzing other charts such as Binance and Coinbase just for swing failure patterns. We've tested this low. I don't trust this swing failure pattern, to be honest. I don't trust it. I don't trust this swing failure pattern. That's my personal opinion. I don't trust it, guys. Me personally, if it would have to be a little bit of a, yeah, you know, it's just those lows are tested. Not looking too great. I mean, that's already the bearish CVD divergence. That's basically the target zone. So we've hit the lows here on most of the exchanges. Let's take a look at Coinbase. But I don't like that long position, me personally. If it bounces from here, then so be it. But yeah, potentially on other exchanges. Yeah, I think that low has been claimed also. Just ever so slightly being tested. Yeah, I don't like, me personally, I don't like that long position. I don't like it. It's a long that I would not personally take. I would rather enter a long position late if we do see a reclaim of certain levels. Okay, so if we were to get, yeah, I mean, this would not be enough. If we were to see a breakout above the previous day value area low, previous day point of control, yeah, but even so, you know, it's not easy. Yeah, I mean, very much aware of a possible lower high here at this area as well. Very much aware of a lower high created, right? Get the breakout, come up. If it does move, you might think that this is a sign of strength. I would personally do as well. I would believe it's a sign of strength if you get above previous day value area low, the previous day point of control, the daily open. You know, you'll be smashing through all of the resistance levels that you would expect it to flip as support. Also with a VWAP, right? For any of those day traders and scalpers, VWAP will likely be, you know, coming all year to this range. You would expect this zone to actually flip as support. What is disturbing is these highs, guys. On many exchanges, they have been claimed. So for me, there is not a proper reason for the price to get back above $65,000. Because the highs were claimed yesterday. Of course, it can bounce and it can claim them again without a doubt. But as a trader, you're looking at the highs being claimed already. It's not a real proper target zone anymore in the short term, because the highs have claimed on on most of the exchanges, which is just not helping for the confidence. If we would have formed a lower high here, very clear lower high, I would say, guys, this is epic. This is we need to attempt the long position here without a doubt, because the highs haven't been claimed. We formed a lower high here, and you would expect more confidence in getting that sweep of the highs, but that is not the case. So anyway, let's go continue through the comment section. We will push lower, buckle up. Yeah, not too confident in this zone to hold right now, personally. Okay. Yeah, not too confident in that these lows are going to hold, guys. So yeah, drop to $62,000, says Tim, to confirm the 0618 on the daily scale, and then bounce up, break high ATF eventually. If we do zoom out, yeah, we also need to hold this area as support, right? Okay, so what we are expecting here, that if we do get this drop after testing Friday's highs, and we come down to $61,000 levels, we need to hold this zone, right? That's what I would expect, right? I would expect a consolidation, and this area where we have the point of control of the last few weeks to actually maintain our support, right? We could not break down from this area. We could create a fake out from this higher low support trend line. We could dance around here, create a bit of a fake out and reclaim. That would be looking pretty interesting for a significant bounce. There will be some good long positions to recognize here if we were to get that reaction at this area. Not instantly getting into limit longs here, because we never know if this has been a corrective structure and we're going to break down. So we would have to see that proof of support at that zone and reclaim to then believe, okay, this is looking pretty good. We can get that bounce, right? Just like the drop here that we analyzed on a live stream a week ago, where we got a significant drop, and I did not get into a long position here on the drop. I got into a long position on one of these higher lows, right? We were maintaining, we were speculating on a 112, and it played out very, very nicely, but we maintained this zone as support. So I did not long the falling knife. I actually entered a long position once we saw the proof of support, and then obviously speculating on those higher lows to be formed here. So if we were to get that drop to $61,000, it's a zone where I would not put limit orders. I would rather wait for a sign of strength here, a sign of support, to then get into the long position, right? Because if we do get that drop out of nowhere, which I don't think is going to happen, but you never know, guys, right? You never know. So it's better to come down and hit the level, start reclaiming, form a little bit of a double bottom, right? And look for an easy resistance support flip, and then look for the long position here to come back up. So yeah, I mean, I would remain patient if we were to get that drop to $61,000. And if we do bounce from here, I am personally not liking the long position here. I'm not liking it. No bueno. I told you it's not going to fall, says Eric. We will see about that. We will see about that. We're below all of the resistance right now. We're chopping down here. It's getting riskier for the swing failure pattern here, right? The reason that we drop down beneath the order block and the lows right there, and we swing failure patterned, and if you double swing failure pattern here, right, and you just, yeah, and it's just not bouncing very aggressively, I can already tell you that it's very low probability that it could successfully bounce from here, okay? If you bounce, you want to bounce from the retest of the swing failure pattern. You know, if you want to bounce, you need to bounce here, and you need a back test, and you need to leave. But if you move down and you come back down to the lows, and it's just that it just lowers probability to get the bounce. You want to see big bounce, bullish pressure very, very quickly, and maximum you want to see a retest. This is why I say, you know, a retest at the level and stop loss at the lows is okay, but coming back down to the lows like we've just done right now is not good. Not good. I believe in Eric. Yeah, let's hope, right? Let's hope. Dump It says, Mustafa, Bart Simpson pattern looks like it wants to play out. We actually got some significant bullish news around there. There's massive accumulation, ETF, spot Bitcoin ETF accumulation happening on Friday. 252 million inflows on the Bitcoin ETF on Friday, which is pretty epic, right? It's a big sum, right? It's the largest one from the last few weeks anyway. So Friday was a lot of accumulation happening with Bitcoin ETF. You know, there's a lot of bullish news that we can talk about, but I want to go through the Ethereum technical analysis. The like button, no bueno. Like button is no bueno. Yeah, like button, it has incredible bearish divergence, the like button. So we can smash it up all together, guys. I want to take a look at the poll. What is disturbing that most of the people believe that the Bart Simpson pattern is going to play out. That is, you know, that is surprising. We've got almost 70% of the people saying that the Bart Simpson pattern is going to play out here for Bitcoin, right? We are going to see that possible leg down. It does look like it's not bringing confidence, but sometimes the best long position is where it looks extremely scary, right? Sometimes the best long is where it looks extremely scary and you're just on the verge of losing the lows of the range of the weekend. If you lose them, well, we know what can happen, right? We know what could happen. Bart Simpson, power. So how far down? How far could we go down? Well, the strongest zone of support that we do have, in a nutshell, is the strongest support that we do have. Yeah, it's basically the $61,000 area. There's no exact level. There is no exact level. Yeah, I mean, we would want to maintain high-low support structure here. But it needs to hold out. We do not know how strong the drop can be. But easy $2,000 move. Easy $2,000 move at a bare minimum. So, you know, would the highs from the 9th of August maintain as support, right? I really wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on this level to maintain as support, to be honest. Yeah, the highs from, my goodness. Let's get that trend line here with a magnet. Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely that 62,700 could hold as support, just being in the middle of this massive pump that we had on Friday. You know, it's just unlikely that this little high would act as resistance. You know, I would expect it to actually break through here. So the question is, of course, you know, will we hold here the low 60K range? Because, I mean, a lot of people are very much not aware of the possible downside for Bitcoin, purely based on the possibility of this, all of this being a corrective structure. You know, I don't believe so that it is. You know, I am speculating on that contracting diagonal, like I explained, right? I am expecting, if we do get that leg down, I would want to see a higher low, and we're forming that contracting diagonal. I would speculate on that. And obviously, if we do get that move, this short over here at the $66,000 range would be more epic, guys. It would be an epic short position to sweep all of the lows of the last few days, right, over the last couple of weeks. If we do form a higher low, we break down, boop, 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 and then we get the leg up in the next coming days. Yeah, without a doubt, this will be an epic short position, because you will be confirming those 5 waves up in a contracting diagonal, right? And yeah, without a doubt, I would even speculate for these lows to be claimed at $55,000. I know it sounds unreal, but you know, this is what we got on the charts. There's no extreme bullish case scenario that we are going to break above $70,000 in the next coming days based on the market structure. There's just no reason to believe so, that this is an extreme nice pump to the upside, and we are forming a wave 3 right now, and we're going to absolutely explode in the next coming days, purely based on this impulsive move that has 3 waves. It's just it's not possible. It is just not possible to smash through $70,000 in the next coming days and believing that this is a massive 3 wave. It is just not possible. So, you know, this is why I you know, this area of 65 to 67K, it is the level to reject and get a pretty decent pullback. And the only bullish count, if this is not bearish, which very much could be bearish, this is a 3-wave corrective structure. The only bullish count, like I mentioned, it is the contracting diagonal. There's no other bullish Elliott wave theory count here on this move. And this 5-wave move up, without a doubt, you know, it will be bullish. Once we confirm another high here after the pullback, once we confirm another high, then, you know, I would obviously be interested in the short position, because what you would be looking at here is a 1-2 scenario, right? And the second wave obviously can retrace all the way down to the 7/8 Fibonacci even, right? So what yeah, I would be interested in the short, and I would be interested in the long after obviously getting that sweep of the lows of the last few weeks. So yeah, not much to say here. This is not looking good. No bueno. Bart Simpson pattern wants to play out. It wants to play out. Does not look too great. So yeah, I got some Ethereum analysis, guys. Smash up the like button if you want that Ethereum analysis on the higher time frame, recognizing the different possibilities here on Ethereum, because there are some very interesting levels and scenarios basically looking at what Bitcoin could do. So if there is a massive long position on Ethereum when Bitcoin is hitting this massive resistance level and expecting a drop, even though Ethereum is at that support level, I would not take that long on Ethereum, obviously, right? You always need to analyze the altcoins. If an altcoin looks bullish, such as Ethereum, and Bitcoin looks like it wants to get a major pullback, you do not long that altcoin, right? Even though if it looks very bullish and it's forming higher lows and it's at support, because Bitcoin will drag down that altcoin and will break that support, right? So Andy, Bitcoin cup and handle on the weekly, we can take a look at that right away, my brother. Why not? Bitcoin cup and handy on the weekly. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin cup and handle on the weekly. Let's just clean out this chart right away and take a look at that cup and handle on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know about this. Yeah, I mean, I am bullish on Ethereum. Don't get me on Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong here. I am bullish on Ethereum on the higher time frames. I am expecting a new all-time high to be hit in the next coming weeks, coming months, or coming weeks possibly. But yeah, cup and handle right over here. Yeah, absolutely. This is without a doubt. Without a doubt, I'm expecting another high here, and if it does break out very strongly, then off we go, right? But yeah, we need to see more and more things, right? We could actually come back down to the low 50k levels, right? We just need to analyze very carefully this situation here on the lower time frames, right? Higher time frames, it looks amazing, right? I would say, yeah, cup and handle on the weekly, off we go. But locally, we could be seeing some drops happening, right? So next coming weeks, yeah, well, coming months, coming weeks is a little bit, you know, yeah, without a doubt, coming weeks, I don't think it will be in the next 1 to 2 weeks new all-time highs. You know, it probably will be entering into October potentially, or I mean, only this pattern to complete, right? If we are speculating on a contracting diagonal here, and if we break down, if we do break down here from the lows already here, I'm going to say we're going to test these lows, guys. I'm going to say that these lows will be tested if we break down from $56,300. If we lose this level, yeah, it's highly likely that we're going to come down to the lows here. So it's crucial that we do actually maintain as support this, you know, 58, 60K zone, where we do have that high volume node on the volume profile. We do have the speculation of the contracting diagonal, you know, and even though if this pattern does play out, right, and then you get the nice, you know, ABC corrective move here to the downside, you know, this is already going to take several weeks. So obviously I wouldn't expect all-time high in next week, right, or 2 weeks, because this is going to take time to develop. So I would possibly say entering into October, maybe end of October, if we do continue, you know, the range and this possible pattern that we've been talking about during the last few days. That is if we do not break down the higher lows here, because if we do break down the higher lows created on the 16th of August, I do see a high chance that we're going to come back down to 49k. So we need to maintain above this low at least for one more high here in the next coming days. And if we do create 3 peaks in the next coming days, if we do create 3 peaks, guys, it's going to be looking very, very good for Bitcoin for the next coming weeks. If we pull back down here, we form a higher low in the next coming days, and we come back up and we claim the highs from Friday, okay, and we form 3 peaks right there, this price action is insanely bullish. Not in the short term, you're going to get a pullback very likely, but you are going to form a higher low at this area with very, very high probability. If you form that contracting diagonal, right? If you confirm that peak after the pullback, you know, it will be looking very, very bullish for the next coming weeks after the pullback. Okay, so let's Dan, contracting diagonal is ultimately bullish. Yes, it is. This looks like a descending broadening wedge channel. Yeah, also on the higher time frames. Yeah, on the higher time frames, it does look like a descending broadening wedge, without a doubt. Yeah, we do have some really nice, you know, support right there during the last few days. Yeah, it does look like a descending broadening wedge, which is ultimately bullish, coming from an uptrend. So yeah, without a doubt, higher time frame is bullish. Higher time frame is bullish, despite that we could come down to 60k or 58k, right? Higher time frame is bullish, without a doubt. So yeah, not looking too bad on the higher time frame. I need pump and dumps by at least 5k. The rest is boring. Yes, sir, it is. It is. Yes, indeed. 49k, then tons of people put longs, and then they have to take it to 40,000 to liquidate the longs, and then people put longs in, and now we have to take it to $34,000 to liquidate the longs. BTC no 100k, says Robert here in the comment section. Well, I mean, I gotta say, it's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. I do believe that we will not break down successfully. If we were to come back down to claim that wick low from the 5th of August, I don't believe that the price will break down successfully. There's no successful breakdown here in that I believe. And all-time highs needs to be claimed at least once in the next coming weeks, couple of months. At least once, all-time high. And depending on the reaction on the breakout here, that is what's going to be very interesting, right? You know, cup and handle, you know, this is very ambitious. You know, this cup and handle target is very ambitious. It's going well above $100,000. I don't think that, you know, that is going to happen in a short period of time. I would be very, very skeptical on that happening, because we will be finishing a 5-wave up here, right? This is the scenario. I'm looking at this, that we're still in a 3rd wave, and then possibly the 5th wave is going to be very explosive. The main reason why I still believe that we are inside of the 3rd wave here is because of the counts that we do have from the pivot lows here created in September 2023. We got 1, 2 in a flat structure, 3, and a very large 4th wave, which, I mean, fourth waves are very much larger than the 2nd wave, so it's acceptable. So I would expect one more all-time high, and then maybe a pretty significant pullback where it's going to absolutely get a lot of people very panicked. And, you know, the top is in, not a successful breakout, possibly hitting $80,000, right, and then get a massive pullback, and then obviously the bull run continuation in 2025. After the 4th corrective wave, larger corrective wave. That's what I do see. That's what I believe based on the Elliot wave counts. And of course, you do have the massive bearish scenario, which is that ABC scenario here, right? Where you're completing, you know, A, B, C right over here. We would have to see a massive, big, epic recession if this needs to play out. Right, where we're forming an ABC here, and this is going to top out. I don't see this happening. You know, forming a running flat here. I don't see that being the case. But unless something devastating happens worldwide in the coming months, which we never know, right? We never know at the end of the day. So let's go through comment section, and if you want, guys, we can take a look at the Bitcoin technical analysis, looking at the higher time frame, different scenarios on Ethereum. For Bitcoin right now, you know, it's a shame that we could not hold these lows for the moment. If it does bounce from here, I'm going to say it's it's really not a zone that I would speculate for a long right now. Me personally, okay, just with you know, my analysis. Yeah, it is a shame. You know, obviously the short position swing faded pattern here created yesterday, early this morning, that was the short position to enter, as mentioned on yesterday's video update, right? Test Friday's highs and look for the rejection and stop loss above the highs, and look for that pullback at least to the lows of the range. Leave some open just in case you do break down already. Yeah, without a doubt, this was actually an acceptable long position before, but now it is just doesn't look too great. in my opinion. So 3 descending peaks on the daily is super bullish and is just waiting a black swan now. Yeah, 3 descending peaks on a daily is super bearish. Super bearish. 3 descending peaks. Are you talking about these ones on the daily? 3 descending peaks. Yeah, ultimately here, the only bearish count here that we do have. Yeah, this is very, very complex without a doubt. If you wanted to count a bearish count here, looking at Elliott wave theory, then this should be a contracting diagonal right over here in 5 waves down. It's the only bearish count. There's been a wave 2, and you formed the 1, 2. You're in a double 1, 2 here. It's just very, very complex to count this as a bearish structure. But for me, 3 peaks here, this is actually bullish. 3 descending peaks here, claiming the lows of the range, for me is bullish, right? It's a descending broadening wedge, for me is bullish. So, you know, that's why I believe that all-time high will be hit at some point in the next coming weeks, despite the price coming down to 55K or not. I do see all-time highs happening in the next coming weeks. So it will drag BTC to $40,000. There's actually a lot of people quite bearish, you know, which is obviously good for the price to be bullish. There's many people that are quite bearish. When the final break comes, there are no pullbacks and waves. Yes. Your count is wrong. Wave 1 should from the bottom. What count? Give me a little bit of more here in the comment section. Your wave is wrong. What wave is wrong? Let me know. Let's do the Ethereum technical analysis, guys. I got the Ethereum levels and possible scenarios here. So let's dive it in. I got a lot of people asking for Ethereum, and I will use a timestamp later on for the people that want to see the Ethereum analysis. Okay, so let's dive into Ethereum, because Ethereum overall, in my opinion, it does still look bullish, right? You are still maintaining uptrend momentum, and the only bullish counts that you can count here, looking at Elliott wave theory, is looking at the bottom from June of 2022, looking at this as a wave 1 right over here, and this right over here being a double 1, 2, right? So you got a 1, 2 right there. This is a double 1, 2. You're still inside of the 3rd wave. This has been the 3rd wave. You're inside of the 4th wave that can technically not overlap here. This pivot, this is why it's kind of wanting to hold and got an epic bounce. And you know, the main reason why of this bounce is because you bounced at the value area high of this trading zone that we formed in between 2022 and 2023, right? When you do get that value area high of this trading zone, this is exactly where the price of Ethereum bounced on the 5th of August, right? This huge, massive range from 2022 and 2023. The value area high was, you know, basically what held the price of Ethereum as support on the 5th of August, right? It's like the price needs to bounce from this zone, and you got a lot of bullish pressure happening here on the 5th of August. So regarding this scenario, you would have to count this move as an ABC structure. Very aggressive, without a doubt. You know, very, very aggressive. As long as you're not overlapping the waves 1 here, okay, the wave 1s, you are still good. But this is like taking it to the limit. It's taking it to the limit, and you would have to count this as an ABC here to the downside. So it kind of needs to hold, right? We could not see the price of Ethereum dropping down beneath the lows here successfully to maintain higher low support structure. Would I consider Ethereum forming a double bottom if we do come back down to the lows here. Let's analyze here this local structure, because I'm more interested in day trade setups here, day trade scenarios. And I have to say, this doesn't look too great for me. For me, I don't like this price action. You're testing the highs here from the 14th of August, and it's not looking extremely great. You know, it's struggling very much to get above it. A lot of resistance. You could arguably discuss that that it has formed already a kind of a contracting diagonal here, peak, right? You got a wave 1. Yeah, you can arguably discuss that this has already formed 5 waves to the upside. 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4, 5 here. Because I mean, you have created 3 peaks, and it's a little bit of a contracting diagonal, not the most beautiful looking one, but you know, you would have to say that, yeah, there's potentially a contracting diagonal. There's the bullish case scenario. So if you were to break down from here, from this descending wedge, you would want to see the price of Ethereum hold a higher low, right? Hold a higher low here at this area. Now, there are some levels here that I want to pull out on the chart, which is daily levels. There's a lot of daily levels that have been formed. What is disturbing on the higher time frames on Ethereum is these moves to the downside. If Ethereum does break up, okay, let's talk about the bearish case, the massive resistance zone that we do have on Ethereum here. If the Ethereum price does move here to the upside, and it's just the value area low here is very, very strong, very, very strong resistance. What I do not like about this is, what if this is a 1 wave, a 2 wave, a 3 wave right over here? You're still inside of the 3rd wave because you've only formed 3 waves down. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You know that you could be in the 4th formation here, as long as you don't overlap. I would be very, very skeptical here on the on Ethereum at, you know, trying to break value area low of this trading zone. And this is higher. I mean, this is higher time frame analysis. Obviously, we can zoom in on lower time frames, but looking at this structure, the value area low, we're already struggling here at the lows of the range. For Ethereum to be bullish, this is massive resistance. This is a dead cat bounce from that drop that we did have on the 5th of August. For Ethereum to be bullish, it would have to smash out through this level. And the moment you overlap this pivot low and you get acceptance above the value area low of this trading zone, that will be bullish. That will be it. I would say that the low is in for Ethereum if you do get the bounce here and you come back inside of the value area low, but most importantly, overlapping this pivot low. If the price of Ethereum does manage to touch this pivot, there is no bearish wave counts here. So yeah, without a doubt, I would expect a corrective move, obviously, after hitting that level, but I would expect the price of Ethereum to maintain higher lows here and continue to the upside. So yeah, that's the scenario here. But overall, this is big, massive resistance. And if Bitcoin does not behave well, we are possibly looking at this as a wave 4 inside of this movement down that we've had the last few weeks. And this zone is just big resistance. It's the lows from the entire range here that we've had this year, right? You got all of these lows right there, the value area low. This is just this is a big wall for Ethereum that I do believe is going to get that breakdown. It's in the next coming days, especially if Bitcoin does get a move to the downside. So it's not looking too great here regarding the dead cat bounce that we've had. So on lower time frames, let's talk about some possible day trading scalping scenarios on Ethereum here, looking at this range, because you can always day trade it. You can always look for the different scalp day trade scenarios here. You got a nice daily level here. There's a nice daily level on Ethereum at 2,621 when we go to the daily time frame and we do zoom in, right? There's an untapped daily level that will be filling this entire daily candle. So if you come back down to retest those lows, without a doubt, you got that daily order block right there, which would be hitting the daily level and the point of control of the entire range. So yeah, without a doubt, I would expect Ethereum to get a significant bounce from this level, the 2,600 range. Why? You got the point of control of this range of the last few weeks. You got a daily level. Yeah, it's just a very good level to get that bounce. So without a doubt, this would be a good level to speculate on along for a significant bounce. The question is the target zones on the lower time frames, because it's very important to look for a target zone if you're looking for a long position here. It's a very strong level, point of control, daily level. If we take a look at Fibonacci retracement from this pivot low to the pivot high of the last run up here that we've had during the last few days, we do have 618. We have the golden pocket round about the daily, round about the point of control. Yeah, it's a good level for a bounce on Ethereum. Now, the question is, of course, where would you target? Where would you target? Because this could get a smaller dead cat bounce and form a lower high. That is where we need to come to the conclusion. Where is the biggest resistance zone? Well, the 618 Fibonacci is always a good target zone from the pivot high to the pivot low. And yeah, basically aiming for that value area low, point of control. This is a zone where the price very likely could get that bounce. You got a nice higher low here on the 4 hourly time frame. Without a doubt, it's a good bounce that could happen on Ethereum and would be targeting the value area low and the 618 Fibonacci. You know, yeah, 50% 618 Fibonacci. But it's a very strong level of support on Ethereum. 2,600 range where we have the daily, we have the point of control of the range. You are forming higher lows. You are forming higher lows here. So you could very likely get that bounce on Ethereum here of, you know, give or take a 3-4% bounce is very likely. Of course, you're gonna have to, you know, monitor the price action here. I will be doing so with the Legends trading community, obviously. You know, looking at this range to hold and what are the possibilities here for this bounce. But that is the strongest level here for a day trade on Ethereum for that bounce. So yeah, that's basically locally what we got here on Ethereum. And if you do move down very aggressively, I mean, I would expect highly likely that bounce is going to happen. But if you form a lower high, then would be analyzing very carefully this bounce over here, because you could definitely form a lower high and then break down, you know, to sweep up the lows, the higher lows that have been formed the last few weeks. All really depending on where Bitcoin is, okay? So if Bitcoin is at support and Ethereum is at support, then I would say, of course, that is a good long position. If Bitcoin's at resistance, right, and Ethereum is at the point of control of this consolidation of the last few days, and it's, you know, hitting the 618 Fibonacci, and Bitcoin is at resistance, then obviously I would say, hey, this is a good short position. Bitcoin is at resistance, Ethereum is at resistance, so, you know, very much acceptable short trade. Bitcoin really not doing much here. It looks like it wants to drop. It doesn't want to drop. It's just slowly grinding down till it actually gets the dip finally. Very boring rolling down here on Bitcoin. Looking at Ethereum CME futures gap, could Ethereum go back to 3K on a short time frame? The Ethereum futures gap, let's take a look at that right away. Yeah, I mean, filling the gaps that top of the gap, without a doubt, could provide that resistance. I mean, when we do take a look at Ethereum on the rest of exchanges, we got that value area low of this entire trading zone that we formed since March, right? So we got March till August trading zone here, the value area low, which would be kind of in confluence, filling up that CME futures gap. So all the way up to around about $3,000. And yeah, you could fill the gap and then get that resistance, right? And unsuccessfully break above this level to then fill the gap and roll back down. This is very much downtrending as well. So this will not be a level where I would become bullish on Ethereum, saying we're at $3,000, you know, big pump, big bullish. But Ethereum is very much downtrending during the last few months, right? So CME futures gap is in confluence with the value area low, and I don't see the Ethereum price successfully moving above here, this level. So it would be a rejection point to roll back down in the next coming weeks after hitting that zone. It all depends on the consolidation. If we do manage to hit $3,100, that means that we are hitting this high over here, and that will be looking very, very good without a doubt. So yeah, that's it's a little bit of my take on Ethereum here. Local levels for day trades, you got that daily level with the point of control of this entire range that is very likely going to get a nice little bounce. And I would even speculate on a short position, right? If you do bounce from here, look for the resistance, look for that point of control of this consolidation for a lower high and roll back down. And it all depends on what Bitcoin's doing, obviously, right? It all depends on what Bitcoin is doing. So don't you anticipate a rally due to the rate cut? What is the interest rate cut impact? You stuck to technical analysis only. Yeah, the technical analysis, you know, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news, right? The impact that the interest rate cuts for September, it can be extremely bullish. It can be bearish. You know, when we do take a look at the data from the previous decades, every time we started cutting rates the last few decades, right, we've entered an official recession, right? 2008, we plateaued, interest rate cuts, recession. Same scenario here in 2000 in the dot-com bubble, right? Interest rate cuts, recession. Interest rate cuts here in the late 1989 to 1990, started cutting rates, recession. You know, also in the 1974, we started to cut rates, recession. 1970s, we got into plateau, cutting rates, recession. So there's nothing really extremely bullish in the short term based on cutting rates. But what is good about this is that we are in a liquidity cycle, right? So we could be seeing money printer, depending on how fast the money printer goes on. If we are cutting rates and printing trillions of dollars, then yeah, absolutely, we are going to moon, right? But it all depends on how fast the money printer goes on. Because if we cut rates and money printer does not go on, then yeah, there's no bueno, we're not going to see massive bullishness. So 100% charts show the move. The news is the catalyst to achieve those moves. That's it. I am all in. If it fails, we'll blame Sin Games. Yeah, it does look like that we are going to get that movement down, and I would not expect this high here to maintain as support. Okay, so if this was the high, which was, yeah, it is what it is, guys. I mean, I would have loved to get into that short position, but this happened at 2 o'clock in the morning. Maybe some of you guys entered that short position, based on testing Friday's highs on most of the exchanges. It was very much mentioned on yesterday's video update. But yeah, obviously the sweet spot would have been this one, which I will leave this one. This is still a good level. I would be interested in the long position. If we do come down here, right? The level that I'm looking for to maintain our support, if we do get that drop, is in between the 382 and the 618 Fibonacci. I mean, this is the zone that needs to hold if we are speculating on a contracting diagonal, right? So yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into a swing long position, right, at that zone. Would like to see proof of support here, and I would be speculating on this scenario in the next coming days. We do have massive support there, which is the point of control of the range of the last few weeks, right? You know, this zone needs to maintain as support. That high volume node, you might drop down to the 50% Fibonacci, right? This zone needs to hold if we drop down there. And as we hold onto that level, then yeah, I could get into a chilled long position here. You know, stop loss, give or take a bit of room, but overall targeting $66,000 potentially on that move. So yeah, I mean, it's just gonna remain patient for that swing trade setup. And whoever got into the short position early this morning, or depending on where you are in this world, if anybody got into that swing failure pattern that those highs were tested on most of the exchanges, then absolutely epic. Obviously, we're at the lows of the range. Could we get an epic bounce in the coming hours? Possible. Without a doubt, this would have been a take profit one if you did short that retest of Friday's highs, because it's the low of the range. And, you know, it's kind of getting a little bit of it's not breaking down just yet, but eventually the lows of the range is a take profit zone. This could still bounce, even though I do think it will finally break down. But if you shorted that level, it's already dropped over $1,500. I would take profit here with no doubt. That would be a take profit one. Obviously, your stop loss would have to be at break even already, at least as a minimum. But I would leave some open, because if we start breaking down and we do not hold here higher lows, then you are in the swing short, right? You are in the swing short. If we do not hold that point of control of this entire range, if you start breaking down here, right? If you start breaking down and this does not hold, well, that was your swing short position, right? From the Friday test highs, that was it, right? So we'll definitely leave some open, because we never know if this zone is going to hold as support. You know, this is a swing short zone with no doubt. This is an area to get into a swing short, because then you get the movement to the downside. You're going to get a lot of people entering into long positions like Bybit, right? People are going crazy with long positions here. People want to long the pullback. People want to long the pullback. So what you could get is a lot of people, yes, we're going to bounce, we're going to bounce, we're going to bounce, we're going to bounce. And then you get the waterfall out of nowhere, and everybody's like, what the heck happened, right? And then obviously the people that are shorted here, the double top from the weekend, you know, are making the profits while the rest of the people are longing, right? You're taking the money from those people that are entering long positions here randomly without seeing proof of support. So extremely important for the price to actually find support here on the drop at $61,000 range, 60,000, right? Give or take. You know, this could create a massive wick and then reclaim the level, right? And then we're gonna find the scenarios here in the next coming days, but we need to maintain, right? Once that drop happens, if it does, once that Bart-Simpson pattern happens, we need to see proof of support, right? We need to see the price holding the range, then we can speculate for the reversal. We do not hold this level and it just dead cat bounces and it comes back down and it claims, you know, we just lower we go, right? Lower we go. So yeah, USDT dominance just came from selling pressure. Now it's going up, then BTC goes down to fill the, yeah, absolutely. The US dollar tether dominance is in an uptrend. It's in an uptrend. It looks good on the higher time frame. It looks bearish on the higher time frame when we do zoom out. This is bearish. The US dollar tether dominance is going to peak out at some point here in the next coming weeks, right? It's going to form a lower high, right? But it is bullish for the last few weeks. It's Bitcoin, the US dollar tether dominance, it's very much uptrending, right? In a broadening wedge or whatever, it is uptrending, and I would expect the tether dominance to actually continue to the upside here for the coming weeks. Obviously, that is not good. That means people are basically moving from Bitcoin crypto to stable coins, right? So it is uptrending. DXY is at support. So yeah. Andy, question, what news happens this week? Well, what news do we have this week? We do have this week durable goods just happened. We didn't see much, I think. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. S&P 500 actually getting a bit of a drop. We just tested the highs here from last week. Got a rejection. DXY getting a bounce. DXY is getting a bounce because it's testing those lows. Testing those lows here. So the DXY could bounce. It's got a reason to bounce from here because it's tested the lows here from December 2023. It has a reason to bounce. So we just need to be cautious with Bitcoin finding support. But the news that we do have on Thursday is GDP growth. On Thursday, we could be seeing some volatility on Thursday. And the good, personal income is next week. But yeah, this week on Thursday, we only have GDP growth rate, which is at 4:30 UAE time, which will bring volatility into the market without a doubt. 534 watching. We can get to 400 likes. We can absolutely get to 400 likes without a doubt. Without a doubt, we can get to 400 likes in the next coming minutes. Moonboot boy, how you doing, my man? So a little bit annoyed, to be honest. I don't like this long position. I don't want to short right now here, obviously. A little bit annoyed with the double top that happened. I mean, it was according to my plan, but it happened at 2 o'clock in the morning. Let me know in the comment section if you did manage to enter that short position. That was on an update yesterday, okay? We did mention that update yesterday about the double top, right? Testing Friday's highs and actually getting the rejection, guys. So let me know. It happened at 2 o'clock in the morning, my time. So I was sleeping. I'm not awake at 2 o'clock in the morning trading the markets, unfortunately. Not yet anyway. I don't think I'll ever will, but who knows? But the good move happened at 2 o'clock in the morning, my time. Let me know if you did manage to get into this short position, guys. That was mentioned on yesterday's video update, because this is what happens a lot of the times. You know, that the best level of confluence was actually hitting that daily level, right? We talked about this yesterday as well. There's two scenarios. There's two levels to reject and create a swing failure pattern. Obviously, the strongest one was this one right over here. It's the daily level that we have. We have the lower highs from August. It is the 7/8 Fibonacci right from the highs of the low. But there is the plan B, obviously. The plan B is, hey, maybe we can test Friday's highs and reject from that level to get into the short trade. So, you know, this was mentioned on yesterday's video update. You should already take some profits without a doubt here at the lows of the range, but leave some open, because if this drops, it's going to get an epic drop based on this candlestick that we formed on Friday. There is no proper support here, so the drop could be quite epic, right? And you want to definitely capitalize on that drop, leaving some of the position open, right? You got a free position right now. If you did get into that short, let me know in the comment section based on yesterday's video update, because 3 a.m. it was for me, says Crypto Broke. So yeah, you probably didn't get into that into the short position either, guys. If you want to trade cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, many altcoins, and you want a no KYC platform, guys, you know that Bluffing has an insane deal with the link down below in the description. You can trade hundreds of altcoins here as well, only for responsible traders. That deposit bonus is $80,000, guys. Make sure to take advantage for this bonus on Bluffing, okay? Because yeah, it's just a very good deal. The more you deposit and trade, the more airdrops you are going to get, and you can use that bonus money to trade with and keep the profits, obviously, right? So check out Bluffing, guys. That $80,000 bonus, all right, if you do deposit significant amount and you're a whale, basically, you're going to get thousands of dollars airdropped to your account that you can use as fees and potential losses, all right? Not much more, guys. Bitcoin is very boring. It just looks like it wants to drop. It doesn't want to drop. If you did get into the short position yesterday, I don't like this level to long, to be honest. You know, it's playing around. It is playing around here. I really don't like the speculation of the long here, but yeah, there's no bullish CVD divergence. Yeah, there's people long in here. At least on Bybit, there's longs here trying to get in at the lows. The shorts coming on other exchanges. Very, very difficult. You know, this is very, very difficult. It either gets an epic bounce or it just starts collapsing. I don't like this as a trade myself. Not looking too convincing. So Theta updates. Shall we take a look at some altcoins here for the community? Absolutely. Let's go right away. Take a look at Theta. What's going on with Theta, guys? Theta update. Theta A. Great accumulation zone. Now, you might believe that this is a successful breakout from the descending wedge structure that we have formed during the last few months right now. You know, is this a successful breakout? This is great accumulation zone. Let's leave it that way. There's no reason to believe that this is breaking out of a wedge and it's going to absolutely rocket in the next coming weeks. This could very much descending wedge of breakouts. They can pump out here. They can retrace, consolidate. But this is already a confirmation of bearish exhaustion, right? You kind of leave the lower highs are not that aggressive anymore. They're starting to not be as aggressive, meaning that you're likely gonna bottom out at this area on Theta in the next coming weeks. Okay, it doesn't mean that we need to shoot up from here, but this is already good DCAing levels, in my opinion. Right? It's gonna be very, very slow, guys. You know, I wouldn't expect a V-shaped recovery here. It's just gonna roll down, come back up. Right? It's just gonna be a bit rangy for several weeks, till it actually bottoms out, and then, you know, we get into the bull run, right? Potentially into 2025. Not much to update here based on Theta. Still front running $63,000 on most exchanges. Plenty of liquidity there, so it looks like 62,500 is definitely in the cards. 62,500 is definitely on the cards here. Yeah, without a doubt, there is a lot of liquidity sitting below us, right? When we do take a look at the heat map, we do have significant amount of liquidity beneath $63,000. When we do take a look at the 3-day chart here, you can see that, yeah, this is just slowly eating up all of those long liquidations. So there is significant amount of liquidations here at 62,500, 62,000. Not a great level to long, if you ask me, at the moment. It does look like it wants to roll down to finally complete that Bart Simpson pattern. I did get into that short position, says Mariella. Absolutely epic, Mariella. Based on your time zone, I'm not sure what time it was, but if you did get into that short position here, based on the double top that happened on most of the exchanges, absolutely epic, Mariella. You are banking profits right now. For me, there is no trade, so no profit and no losses. So no nothing. So yeah, it's a shame, but it doesn't matter. This right now, very complex. I'm very much aware of the fall. I'm very much, it would be rare to get that bounce, but I would be waiting for the next levels, which is basically this area where we have the high volume node, right? Speculating on that contracting diagonal. We need to form a higher low. We need to form support here at this high volume node, speculating on that contracting diagonal that could be happening, all right? And would obviously look for the long position here. And I'm still interested in the short trade based on the lower highs that we have from the 2nd of August, right? And also there's a lot of confluence. We got the 𝗬𝗏𝗽 pattern. You know, it's a level where I would be looking for the short trade without a doubt. So that either happens first and then roll down, or we roll down, we see proof of support at the daily, contracting diagonal, absolutely wonderful. We look for the bounce all the way back up to $65,000 plus. Interested in the longs, interested in the short trades right over here at 65,500 to 66,000, right? We need to see that swing failure pattern from those highs. Is that if there's no swing failure pattern, then off we go to the races, right? Off we go. Legends, thank you very much for joining. I am going to wrap it up. Not much based on the news. We have the ETF inflows, a lot of inflows on Friday. Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs top 2.2 billion right now. So absolutely amazing. Hong Kong ETF accumulating. Nigeria to license Bitcoin and crypto exchanges as soon as this month. Good stuff. Mass adoption. Retail are not in, guys. This is something good. We do not see a lot of people searching for Bitcoin on Google. We are very low from the previous all-time highs. So it does look like that, you know, the top is not in my opinion, right? We want to see a lot of retail entering once Bitcoin smashes through all-time high, which could happen in the next coming months. 2025, are we going to see a little bit of more turbulence to the downside? Very much a possibility. Hong Kong ETF issuers are calling on South Korea to approve Bitcoin ETF. South Korea also joining here the train with the Bitcoin ETF. And 4 years on the Bitcoin standard, and you would have outperformed every company in the S&P 500. We do have MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor. MicroStrategy absolutely outperforming every single company, even including Nvidia, which has been the best stock performer, right? Tech performing asset. Even MicroStrategy outperforming Nvidia purely based on the Bitcoin standard, right? Legends, thank you very much for joining. Stay safe with your trading. If you want more trading updates, you know where to find us. We are in the Legends trading community where we go in detail on the different possibilities, the risk management, of course, that double top that happened on Friday's highs. Very much a trading setup that was mentioned in the Legends trading community. That is where we post every single day, me and the coaches, guys, looking for the different scenarios and good risk management. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you in the next one.